We are live. Welcome everyone. This is Kirk Williams coming to you. This is a Live Inspired Summer Book Review. We are very excited to be here today. It's going to be a short session today. We have some things happening in the household, in the business areas that we need to take care of. But I did not want to not do this. I want to make sure that we handled and we still are staying consistent with our book club. So thank you very much for everyone for joining in. Very interesting weekend over the weekend with the 4th of July and all kinds of things happening, and just having a good life. Things are happening right now, and just happy to be alive. God is good, and I pray that everything is going well for you in your life. And let's get into this book. Today we're going to go over, I've met Tim a couple of times, and he's been to our church, and I've gone down to California to listen to him, and really, really nice, really good guy, and just has a tremendous amount of energy and excitement about life, full of life, and he's just very encouraging and inspiring. And he's been involved in a lot of different things. He's been in Hollywood for a long time, and I just really thought that it would be good to introduce him and to introduce his book for our summer book reading, our summer book club. So without further ado, we are going to highlight, make sure I get that right, Comeback and Beyond: How to Turn Your Setbacks into Comebacks by Tim Storey. So just make sure you guys see that. That's the book that we are going to review today. And just a little background, and I'm going to read just a little bit something from a review, or from what Tim is all about with this particular book. And just listen in. It just says, have you ever experienced a devastating setback in your life? Maybe you have struggled in a marriage or family. Maybe perhaps your finances have taken a catastrophic blow. We all encounter certain painful things in life, and it seems impossible to overcome. And in this particular book, it doesn't matter if you've gone through some setbacks, some insurmountable mountains that you think are insurmountable. God is in the business of resurrecting your dreams, your visions, and he is ready to take those setbacks and turn them into a comeback, meaning that he is ready to take you through whatever you've been going through and dealing with, and so that you can get through it onto the other side, and it will become a comeback. And that's what Tim's book is all about: Comeback and Beyond, how to turn those setbacks into comebacks. So, from the beginning of this particular book, Tim lets his readers know quickly that, even in your darkest hours and worst failures, that's identified as a setback. Those failures, those challenges, those things that's going on in your life, those are considered setbacks. But he, in this book, and I really like this about his book, is that he's showing you or explaining that God is orchestrating the strategy of a comeback for you. So not necessarily that he's going to remove you from that challenge or that setback or that issue that you are going through, but he is actually there, and he's rooting for your success, and he's going to orchestrate and everything that's involved in it to take you through it and get you onto the other side. And we call that a comeback. Again, that's really what this whole book is all about, just knowing that you're going to be there, but also that God is going to help you through it. So with that said, that's the crux of the book. One of the really cool things I like about this book from Tim is that, it is overtly Christian, overtly Bible-based. He makes no bones about what he is, that he is definitely Christian, and he's taking everything that he's putting in this book, all the strategies, all the tips, the things that he wants you to accomplish, how are you going to get through your setback to the comeback, is all Bible-based. That's one thing that I really like about this particular book, all throughout the whole book. And it is 230 pages, so I like that about the book too. It's not too long. It's a really good read. It's not too short either. So I like that about the book. But he is definitely saying, hey, guess what? if you want to get through some certain challenges, if you want to get through some things, this is how you're going to do it. And here are the scripture references to get through that book. Get through life and get through the setback. So that's really what I really like, that he makes no bones about it. He is definitely overt in saying that this is how you're going to do it. God is going to be there. God is helping you. And we really want you to understand that it is he that is helping you. And we have some inner things that we need to deal with, and God is right there with you. So I really like that. And I'm going to have some notes on my phone that I'm looking at, but I'm going to share one thing about this. This is on introduction. This is page 1. You see that I highlighted it. And it says this: you may be weary and don't know if you have the energy to begin again, but this may be the humble launching pad your life has been waiting for. It's too soon to give up, because God hasn't given up on you. In fact, he never gives up on you. Again, that's really what this whole book, and again, that's throughout the whole book. God is on your side. God is ready to help you. And even though you might be going through some things, God is going to be there with you, and he's going to help you get through that. So Tim also goes, and I'll read a little bit something else. And let me go to page, and I'm sorry, I'm flipping through this because I had some highlights in all my text. Okay, here we go. Tim says this: recognizing and dealing with your bad decisions, taking responsibility for your self-centered, selfish words and actions. This is probably the hardest to face of 3 reasons for setbacks. Now, Tim goes into 3 different reasons that we might have setbacks. The one is unexpected circumstances in life that happens. Sometimes things just happen, and they're unexpected, and we have to deal with those. The second thing is spiritual position. So we are living in a world where we have some, things that happen that are outside of our control, and some spiritual things. It's important to know that there are setbacks in those areas, and also your bad decisions, some bad choices that you might make. It's important for us to know that dealing with those things, knowing what those things are, those are the setbacks. Now that we know that they're setbacks, now we know how to recognize them, then we are prepared to come back, to get through those setbacks. And so that's what I like about this particular book. He gives us step-by-step. Here's a reason. Here's what the setback is. Now let's deal with it, recognize it, and then we can attack it, and we can fight, and we can get through it. Tim also says that defining a comeback is important, and this is what his definition is. It says that a comeback is a return to a place of stature, significance, and well-being with the Lord. So he's not just talking about being, getting it from ourselves, going and talking with other people. He's saying that you're going to get, your comeback is really your well-being and your stature with God. And if you get that right, if you understand that that's what your comeback is going to be, and who's going to help you get through the setback to the comeback, then you are really ahead of the game. So I wanted to mention that to you guys as part of this whole book. Again, this is a really cool book. Bible is all throughout this book. And for those of us that are Christians, we can appreciate that. One of the challenges, I'll say, definitely, I'll get to the challenges in just a minute. Let me go right back into this and understanding the reasons. I just gave you the 3 reasons for the setbacks: unexpected circumstances, bad decisions, and spiritual opposition. Now, what I also want to say is this, and let me go to my page 20 of this book. And it says that your core comeback is this. Sometimes we have clouded comebacks where we think that we can just, issues that are coming on in life, and we can just kind of deal with it from an outside perspective. Maybe we can purchase something and buy our deal with our feelings by going out and buying something. Maybe we can just try to hide and dig our heads in the sand and pretend like the setback is not there. Those are all clouded comebacks. But Tim says you should have a core comeback. And the one reason for a core comeback, or the number one thing that was going to help you with this comeback, is it has to be God inspired. And I really like that, because Tim says this: when God inspires you, he literally breathes into you his love, truth, and power. So if God's love, truth, and power is within you. There is nothing that you cannot overcome. And that is important to understand and to know as you're dealing with setbacks in your life. The other thing that a comeback has is God endorsed. So God is really on your side. He's endorsing you to get to the other side of this setback. So if God is inspiring you, if God is endorsing you, we know that we serve a good God, and you can do anything with him on your side. So those are the true core comebacks that you can deal with any kind of setback, and you can get through life and be successful at it. So the last thing I want to mention about this is that, and let me make sure I get to it. Again, this book is 230 pages, so there's a lot to digest in this book. But the bottom line is this, and I'll read this on page 207. It says this: "Let me tell you the bottom line of all of this. It's not what people say about you that counts. When all is said and done, it's what God says about you that counts." And I want to end with that mindset, because even though you're going through some troubles, doesn't matter if it was unexpected circumstances, doesn't matter if it was through your bad choices, bad decisions, and you don't have to worry about it. Even what you think about yourself is what God thinks about you that counts. And because he truly believes and wants you to understand that you are his, that you have been called royalty, that you are a positive light, and he's positive and he wants you to be successful. That's all that matters, so that you can then really go through life knowing that despite the troubles, despite the situations, despite the circumstances, the setbacks that are in your life, you can overcome those and you can walk through them, and you have a partner in God that's going to help you through that. And because he is good, because he has overcome everything, and you are his, you're going to get through that. And that's the encouragement part of this. God is with you. So a couple of last points I want to share with you guys is that this book is eye-catching. I would say that. This is my review. I think Tim is a good-looking guy. You might see it close. Tim is a good-looking guy, and when you look at the book, and if you see it on a bookstore, bookshelf, I think a lot of people will pick it up. So I think that's a great thing that he does as far as style, having a good-looking book. The other thing I would say that the message is truly inspiring. I mean, again, all throughout the book, he's using scriptural reference after reference, and the message is motivating, encouraging, inspiring. You're going through something. Hey, here's how you can get through it. He uses tips, stories are all throughout it, and it's not a boring read. So I think that's a good thing about this book as well. One thing I think that is would probably be a challenge, especially for a non-believer, a person that's not of faith, is that I mentioned that thing that I like about it, about all the Bible references. And I think that could be a challenge to those that are non-believers. Because of that, throughout the book, there's Bible references, explanations of different stories in the Bible. But I will challenge anyone, and I would really encourage, even if you don't believe, to read the book anyway, because it is very motivating, inspiring, encouraging, and it's going to help you understand and figure out what you can do to get past some of these setbacks that are happening in your life, and understand them and learn how to deal with them. Another thing I would say about the book, Tim writes it from the standpoint that, there are questions that people ask, and why is this, and how do I do this, and what about this? In every chapter, he starts the chapter off with a question like that. So I think it would be really good to take a look and read that because of those, the way that he writes the book. So again, that is Tim Storey's Comeback and Beyond. It is truly an encouraging book. A lot of people, like some of you guys know Dwayne Dog Chapman, the bounty hunter, Dwayne the bounty hunter. He wrote a little something on the back of Tim's book. Lee Iacocca, he wrote something. Smokey Robinson wrote something on this about Tim's book. And Tim has been, on Oprah's TV show. He's done a lot of different things. He's been involved with Hollywood and life coach to the stars. I think that's one of his mantras is he's done a lot in the world, and he continues to do a lot. He has his own church, the Congregation, meeting in the LA area. But this book, Come Back and Beyond, really speaks greatly to me that I want to share with you guys. You know what? Life is hard. Life is tough, challenging at times, but you don't have to go through it alone. And you can go through it knowing that, you know what? Even though I'm going through this challenge, I can make it through to the end. I can get through this challenge because the challenges in life are temporary. There are seasons in life, and this season of challenge for you is temporary. You're going to get through it. Sometimes we have seasons of great success. You know what? We have to understand that there's going to be a time when that success, dwindles a little bit, and we're going to enter into a challenging season. But understand it's a temporary season. So keep going, stay with it, be encouraged, just keep moving through it. And you also have a great partner in God that's going to help you through it. So with that said, that's my review. Come Back and Beyond. How to turn your setbacks into comebacks. You can pick it up on Amazon. You can pick it up, check out Tim Storey's website, timstorey.com. Stay with us. Check us out again. Our YouTube channel, Live Inspired Network. Check us out on our Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at I Inspire You Today. And we look forward to talking with you again. Thank you for those that, are looking at this video or listening to this podcast. We truly appreciate it. And we'll be back with more different, segments that's going to come up here in the future. In the next couple of weeks, we have some great, exciting things happening. And we're going to review next week. And I mentioned, that we're still in our book study. We have a few more books to go through. And our next book we're going to talk about is Switch by Chip and Dan Heath. So make sure you pick up this and read it, and so that you can be on the same page when we talk about their book on change, how to change things when change is hard. And we all know that change is hard. We're going through change right now. So that's what we're going to talk about next week. Pick up a copy of it, but also don't forget, get Tim Storey's book, Come Back and Beyond, and pick it up on Amazon.com. And we look forward to the next time we get to talk to you guys. So with that, hey, be encouraged, stay positive, have a great life. And guess what? Nothing good comes out of a negative attitude. So stay positive. And life is always good. So be encouraged. And last but not least, live inspired, because guess what? Life is, if you are inspired, you are inspiring the next generation to go to the next level, and you'll be encouraged and live a positive, good life yourself. So with that said, love you. God bless you. Take care. And we'll see you next time on Live Inspired Summer Book Club. Have a great day. Thanks.